Hello again and welcome back to the PhatPhish Guitar Studio, and it's time for another scale of the week. This week we're going to be taking a look at one of my favourite scales, which is the Dorian Mode. Now if you're not familiar with Modal Theory and so on, I'm going to put some links in the information section down there to some tutorials I've already got on YouTube and on the main PhatPhish website, which explain modes a bit more, where they come from, and give you some background information on them. But assuming you understand what a mode is and all that sort of stuff, let's carry on and take a look at the Dorian Mode. Now the Dorian Mode is the second mode of the major scale. So if you think about taking the notes of a major scale, rearrange all those notes that start from the second degree. So if you say you're in the key of G major, the second degree of the G major scale would be A. Rearrange the notes of G major from an A starting point, you get the A Dorian Mode. And by rearranging the notes in that order, you end up with a scale that's got the formula 1, 2, flat 3, 4, 5, 6, flat 7 and the octave. That scale is what's defined as a minor mode because it's got a flat third in it. So the interval of a minor third, or 3 semitones between the first and the flat third degree. So that makes it a minor mode. But it's got a slightly more majory sound than a minor scale because it's got that natural sixth in it. Quite a nice sound. Let's take a look at PhatPhish and see where the notes of that scale appear on the neck. Here we're looking at the A Dorian Mode with the notes right the way across the fingerboard, and let's home in on a nice movable scale box. And as I say, that's a movable scale box, so wherever you take it, wherever the root note is, whatever note that lies on, that's the Dorian Mode that you've got. So move it down a couple of semitones, down to here, the root note's a G, so that's the G Dorian Mode. Take the shape, move it up a few semitones, so the root note's at the 8th fret, that's C, so that gives you the C Dorian Mode. If you're not familiar with the scale, then use this scale box as a starting point. It's relatively easy to play. It's roughly 1 finger per fret, so you can use that to get yourself used to the way that the scale sounds. And then as you get more comfortable with it, remember to explore the whole fingerboard and be aware that the notes of that scale occur right the way across the neck. So where could you expect to use the Dorian Mode? Well, as I said, it's the 2 mode. It's the mode that occurs on the second degree. So you could use it over the 2 chords. If you're playing in a major key, you could use the Dorian Mode over the minor chord or the minor 7 or the minor 9, whatever that occurs on the second degree. Or if you're playing in a natural minor, which is relative to the major scale, the Dorian Mode occurs as the 4th mode of the natural minor, so you could use it over the minor 7, the minor 9, whatever chord that occurs as the 4th chord in a natural minor key. So another way that you can hear a Dorian kind of tonality is to emphasise the note where the Dorian Mode occurs as a bass note. I'll show you what I mean. Let's stick with the major key and think about the key of G major. Second degree of G major is A. So if you play notes from G major over an A bass note, you'll kind of induce a Dorian kind of sound because the listener's ear is drawn more to that bass note, and it gives it a Dorian sort of feel. Now, principal chord sounds in a key, the 1, 4 and 5 chord, that's the 3 degrees of the major scale where you get a major chord. So in the key of G major, the 1 chord, G major, the 4 chord, C major, and the 5 chord, D major. Now if I play those, it'll give you a very strong G major sort of sound. But if we play them over an A bass note, it starts to give you more of a Dorian feel to it. So if you had a progression like that where it's very strongly using the second degree in the bass, that's the sort of progression where over a whole series of chords you could use the Dorian Mode. So it's not just a case of you can only use the Dorian Mode over the 2 chord because that's like the Dorian chord. If you've got a bass note that gives you the Dorian sound, you can use the Dorian Mode throughout. As always though, let your ears guide you. If you understand the music theory so you can understand kind of what notes you're playing and why you're playing them. Listen to how they sound and let your ears help you to judge if what you're playing sounds right. You know, does it fit in with what it is that you're playing over, and is it helping you achieve what it is that you're wanting to achieve sonically and tonally and all that. It's a really useful scale. You can find loads of different styles that you can employ this scale in, so it's worth getting familiar with the way that it sounds and how to play it. And it's a very worthwhile addition to your scale vocabulary. Okay, if you subscribe to the PhatPhish YouTube channel, thanks very much for your subscription. If not, then please click on the subscribe link in the information section down there. As always, thanks very much for watching. I hope you found this useful, and I'll see you in another video next time. Bye for now. 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, it doesn't have a 7. You muppet.